What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Nemesis Gaming League. We're here for day 2 of playoffs, and we got a great matchup tonight. My name is Lancer. I'm joined here by Merely, and tonight we're bringing you a challenger matchup between Dissolved and Bishops. Merely, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Lancer. Hoping to look forward to a good series of Rocket League here.
Yeah, it should be an interesting one. We're slowly but surely getting down to the business end of playoffs. And I know in the Challenger League, it's been an interesting season because the Drakes have been so dominant over everyone else. But I feel like Dissolved and Bishops are two teams that have gone overlooked by the rest of the league. What about you?
They really have, and Dissolved has proven with their record, especially in the later half of the season, they've really pulled around. I don't remember their exact record, but I know it's not that far off from the Drakes, who are the dominant team.
Yeah, they've. I think they're only 2 or 3 games behind them, at least in the regular season, and they were able to pull off a win against the Drakes. I know Drakes didn't have their full roster, but Dissolved have been looking really dangerous, and Bishops are just a few games behind them. They've pulled off a pretty consistent season. But what are your initial thoughts on these two teams, and who do you think is going to have the advantage here?
This should definitely be an interesting matchup. From a certain standpoint, they have very different play styles, so it's going to be interesting to see whether Bishop's mainly defensive play style or Dissolved heavy pressure play style will take the edge in this matchup.
Yeah, it's a really good point. I mean, Dissolved, you look at the players they have. They've got AAA, who's known for his ones abilities and his ability to put pressure on the ball, and they've also got Snake, who I'm pretty sure just hit 1700, so probably going to be one of the quickest players in the lobby. But on the other side, you've got Bishops, who basically just three really consistent defensive players. So it's going to be an interesting clash here. But as we're about to get into the lobby, who do you think is going to be the difference maker for both of these teams?
I'd say, like you said, Snake will definitely be a heavy factor here, being the highest rated player in the lobby, I believe. And for Bishops, I'm really hoping to see King Muff step up. He hasn't made a huge impact so far, but hopefully he can make some plays happen here.
And we're off in game 1. We've got Dissolved in the blue getting a shot on net early, and the Bishops across from them in the orange. As we're getting off now with Dissolved, some early pressure, almost getting a shot on goal, but Spork knocks it away. And now Bishops can mount an attack. And as a reminder, these playoff games are best of 7s. This isn't an elimination match for either side. The winner will go on to play Samurai in the first semifinal, and the loser will go on to play Ascension in that lower bracket, and they'll have to play another game there to try and face Drakes, as a good shot comes out from Snake, but he's met by Frank. Another bit of pressure coming on, and Clamps is forced to make it clear. Bishops giving away possession there, and Dissolved another attack trying to mount for them. Pass in the midfield gets 50'd by Spork well, but Snake able to beat his man to the ball. Coming down the field now. He's got a bit of time, hits it off the backboard. No one quite there. AAA able to get a 50, but nothing comes of it now. And Dissolved getting another shot on net, but that one's off the crossbar. Some good pressure from them coming on early here, as Snake takes it up the wall, but it's knocked away by Frank.
And Dissolved really has had all the pressure here so far. They're finally pushed back into their half, but not sure if they'll be able to make anything happen.
Yeah, and there's a quick one-on-one there, but it's well dealt with by Clamps, and another shot comes out for Snake. Frank with a really good save. AAA now trying to keep this ball in the Dissolve in the Bishop's end, but it's knocked away. And Bishop's starting to pick up the pace a little bit. We're seeing them gain a bit of momentum here, but Snake's in the air looking for the double touch. Couldn't get it. He didn't have the boost. And Bishop's now some time on the ball to regroup. Spork going off the ceiling. Unable to get the shot, but Clamps was there for them. And we're seeing end-to-end stuff here as AAA has an open net, and you'll put it in easily. Dissolve take the first goal.
And finally, the pressure is just too much from Dissolved. The third man for the Bishops just overcommitted, and that's going to be an easy counterattack for Dissolved to take the lead.
Yeah, and that's an unfortunate one. We were just seeing the Bishops sort of step into their own and get some attacking play going, but they've gone too far here, and you got to hope for the Bishops that they're not scared off of going on the offense from that one. Good 50 comes out from Clamps, though. Spork, he's got plenty of time on this, but he'll choose to just hit it long. And he's chased it down, gets the touch, and he puts it in to tie it up. We got a tie game here.
And that's a great goal from Spork. Hits the ball high, takes advantage of an awkward defensive rotation by Dissolved, and gets a nice finishing touch. It wasn't the hardest shot, but it was enough that Snake wasn't able to save it.
Yeah, and a little bit slow from the Dissolved defense, but it was a good play by Spork. And it's interesting, I just realized that King Muff actually isn't in the lobby for Bishops, which is definitely going to be a hit for them to take. But I believe it's Frank filling in for him. I'm sure he'll be able to do a good job filling in for their star player.
And it is unfortunate that King Muff wasn't able to play, but so far Frank has been looking pretty solid for the Bishops so far.
Yeah, and now they're Dissolved, hoping to use that to their advantage. I mean, King Muff, he is a good mechanical player, but as the captain of the team, you've also got to think he brings a certain sort of leadership skill that Frank might not be able to provide. I'm not too sure what he's like there, but we get back into the action here as Frank knocks it long. He's going to go chase it down. A little bit of bumps coming up from Clamps, but couldn't get too much done. Spork knocking it midfield, but Snake there. Game's starting to open up here, so we're approaching the last minute, and we're at a deadlock. It seems no clear-cut chances for either side in about a minute or so, but Snake hits that one high, follows his own rebound, goes for the double touch, couldn't get it, stack jam there, and he puts it in, and with over a minute left, Dissolve take the lead again.
And just as it looks like the Bishops are really finding their footing, they make a really huge mistake. I think there was a whiff ball by one of the players that just led to an open backboard and not an easy shot, but a good put away from Dissolved.
Yeah, and I mean, we're seeing Snake, who's definitely at the heart of all these offensive opportunities, but he's not really doing too many high-level mechanics that you'd expect from a 1700. He's just playing really clean Rocket League, and it's giving Bishops a few troubles here in Game 1.
And I think that is why Dissolved has been able to turn into such a powerhouse, because Snake doesn't necessarily have the flashiest mechanics, but he makes a lot of space for his team and gives them opportunities constantly.
And we saw another chance coming out, but Stack Jam unable to put it in. I don't think he was expecting the defensive whiff from Bishops. This 4-4-4 goes for the 50. Spork with a free touch here, but Stack Jam saves it. It's a double commit though, and Clamps couldn't get the second touch on target, but the Bishops will hold on to the pressure here. 30 seconds left. It's now or never for them.
The Bishops are really fighting back here, but they are going to have to find a good play to put this away if they want to stay in it.
Yeah, and we're seeing them keep the ball in that offensive end, but not too many convincing shots on net. It doesn't seem like Dissolved have been really too troubled by anything Bishops has thrown at them. Clamps now hitting it up to Spork, who knocks it long. Snake's there, and he'll touch it into the corner. Frank, last chance for Bishops now, but it's cleared away, and Dissolved will take Game 1, score 2-1.
And that was a really good Game 1 for Dissolved especially. Even though the score was close, you still have to feel that Dissolved had the majority of the pressure. Even looking at the shots, they had 9 to Bishops 5, and really just an amazing showing from them so far.
Yeah, and for the first little bit of that game, it felt like both sides weren't really extending too far, which is typical, especially in a playoff series. You know, both teams want to feel each other out a little bit, but Dissolved able to just play calmly and capitalize on those Bishops whiffs and mistakes, and I think that was really the difference maker for them in this Game 1.
And you do have to wonder how the nerves are going to play a part. They aren't playing for the only spot left in playoffs, but whoever loses here might have to go on to eventually face the Drakes, which is a tough road ahead if you're the losing team here.
Yeah, I mean, definitely looks like that route through the upper side of it, facing Samurai, is probably the easier road to the final. So both these teams are going to want to, fight for that spot because they'll feel like if they win this matchup, then they'll have a better chance of making that final.
And a little bit of a self-roast there from Lancer, as he is the captain of the Samurai team.
You got to be unbiased,
Of course.
And We're heading into game 2 here, and I gotta ask, do you think the Bishops are gonna be able to pull back from that, or do you think Dissolved are gonna have this one as well?
I think it's going to be really difficult for the Bishops to find a sort of consistency to deal with Dissolve's pressure. But if they can find their footing, they have looked like they have the opportunity to take this series.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting underway now. I think what Bishops really need is someone to step up and start getting those shots on target and elevate the tempo a little bit. We're seeing Dissolve coming through. Stack Jam with the shot off the crossbar. Couldn't get it. Triple A's up for it. Knocks it off the roof. Stack Jam up again. Both whiff. And it's cleared away by Clamps right on the goal line. And the Bishops survive to keep the score 0-0.
I have no idea how that didn't turn into a goal, but the Bishops' defense once again just coming in clutch. That's really what they've been known for this entire season.
Yeah, and Dissolve to be upset about that one, but they'll look to keep the play going. Stack Jam popping it high into the air, but Clamps is there to knock it down. Now Dissolved. Having to back up a little bit and regroup, as it's just a little bit of ping pong going on. Both sides knocking it long, waiting for a mistake, but Stack Jam has space here. Knocks it to Wosnake. He's going to go for a self-rebound. Couldn't get good enough contact on it. Great passing play, and Frank knocks it off the post. No one expecting that.
That was such a good opportunity for a counterattack, but now it looks like it might go in the other direction.
Clamps whiffing off the backboard again. Seeing some nerves come out from the Bishops on defense. Their aerials haven't looked too convincing. And Wosnake reading that rebound perfectly and putting it in.
And really, it looks like this all resulted from the Bishops committing a little bit too heavy on that missed counterattack. You have to feel they almost felt like they deserved a goal there after that near miss, but a little bit of slow defensive rotation led to Wosnake having a semi-easy shot on that.
Yeah, and I mean that shot from Frank going off the post, and then it comes back down the other way. An unfortunate whiff at the front post, and I mean the Dissolve's going to capitalize on that. If you want to beat this team, you need to play very solid in defense. You can't give them any chances like that. But Bishops find themselves in a tough spot again here. It's Wosnake knocking it down. Clamps trying to hold on to it, but the pressure's too great. 51, and Frank knocks it long. Now we got some play building up in the midfield. Spork hasn't done too much for his team in this series, but we've seen him play at his best, and when he does, he's able to be a difference maker for them. But as of right now, it hasn't been able to do too much for his side. Touch off to the right now. Triple A with some space. A weak shot on net, but it forces the double commit. And Wosnake now has some time in the air. Gets another shot. Clamps with the save. And Bishop's running low on boost now. But Clamps just going to stall here to try and buy some time for them. And, in this game 2, we haven't seen much from the Bishops again on offense. In fact, we've seen even less from them than in game 1. Merely, what do they got to do to step up and get some more opportunities on net?
Really, they just have to take better advantage of these opportunities. It's not like they aren't getting opportunities, they're just not taking advantage of them. And if they can start to hit these shots and catch Dissolved on their rotation out, then they're going to be able to get some goals.
But looks like that's going to have to wait at least one play. It's just overwhelming pressure coming out here. Wosnake, a great 50, and then just awkwardness on the goal line.
Defenders. And that's just overall a really awkward position for the Bishops. Tough spot to be in when no one has momentum and the ball just gets basically 50'd into their net.
Yeah, and an unfortunate cut in the rotation. I think the last defender needs to come from the back post there, but that's a simple enough mistake to fix for Bishops. I don't think they'll be too concerned about that play, but they're absorbing all the pressure right now. Spork looking to break out, and he'll knock it off the Dissolved end, but 4-4-4, hitting it long and Clamps, no choice but to put it in his own net.
That is just an unfortunate. A great clear by AAA, and I'm not sure that Clamps could have really done much with that. It's a tough time to react, and in the end, he can only put it in his own net.
And looking in the Twitch chat here, and AAA saying "let's go" to that play. Yeah, man, I'm not sure that was the play to say "let's go" to, but
At least
They-
you have to like him making fun of himself a little bit. But that's another goal by Dissolve. This is looking painful.
yeah, it's just really slow, I think, from the Bishops. I mean, Dissolve's playing at a really quick pace, and it doesn't look like at the moment they're able to keep up with them.
And you have to
And
wonder if the absence of King Muff is a big factor here. It doesn't
well,
look like
yeah,
he's really stepping up and taking those offensive opportunities.
yeah. I mean, a lot of teams, especially in the Challenger League, where you have one high MMR player and then a few lower ones in some of the teams, you see that rotation reflect that by the team rotating around the high level player. In the case of Dissolved, it's players moving around Wosnake and getting him on the ball as much as possible, but he's getting another one here. I mean,
Another own goal from the Bishops.
yeah, he's a one-man wrecking crew at the moment, and we're not seeing anyone from Bishops just step up and take charge and say, "Look, this is how we're gonna play. You know, give me the ball. I'm gonna be the difference maker here." And this game out of reach now, and we're looking on to game three. I mean, do the Bishops have any chance? Because I think game two just got worse for them.
And you have to wonder how that pair of own goals is going to affect Clamps' confidence. Usually he's the solid rock on defense that keeps everything out of the net, but after those two own goals, his confidence has to be suffering.
Yeah, and we've seen Wosnake score another goal here. I mean, it's just utter domination. He's got 5 in the game, 8 shots on net, almost 800 points, and Bishops just do not have an answer. And again, what we're seeing from him, nothing crazy mechanically. It's just he's playing quick, he's playing confident, he's playing really smart. And AAA knocking that one long, and it gives a lot of trouble to the Bishops. 7-0 here, setting up for the Brazil late on in this one, but two guys going for the ball for Bishops, Frank and Spork, and that double commit costs again. Maybe a little bit of tilt. Maybe they know this one's over, but utter decimation from Dissolved right now. Not going to get the Brazil quite yet. I mean, it's a 2-0 lead on the series, and that one's really got to hurt the confidence for Bishops. And
That was
you
just
get
an absolutely dominating performance from Dissolved. 16 shots on net compared to Bishop's 4, and most of those converted. Wosnake especially getting 870 points. Bishops are going to try to just have to forget that this game ever happened if they want a chance in this series. Got to brush that off and bring it back.
Yeah, and I mean at the same time they know if they lose one more, then they're facing the reverse sweep. And in a best of seven, a reverse sweep is, I mean, near impossible, especially when Dissolved has so much momentum. I mean, you look at that game one and that game two, and it couldn't really have gone either way. Dissolved looked comfortable in both of them.
And you really wonder what it'll take for Bishops to be able to turn this one around. They'll have to stop Wosnake, first of all, just stop the bleeding. And oh, it looks like we are going to get a substitute, but not the substitute we might have been expecting.
Yeah, King Muff coming in now. And he's replacing Spork. It's an interesting choice from them, and I mean, King Muff, he knows his team better than anyone, so he's decided that the lineup's going to be Frank, himself, and Clamps. So with the captain himself now stepping in, let's uh let's see if that's going to change things for him. I feel like that's got to be a positive move in the right direction.
But you have to wonder why Spork is being subbed out as a starting part of the roster for the entire series. And you also have to wonder why King Muff hasn't been in the series the entire time. They are
Yeah,
making
I,
moves now, though.
I mean, it's better late than never, but those are some good questions. I personally thought that Spork was playing pretty well. I think it's been hard for any of the individual players on Bishops to make an impact, but hopefully things change here as Bishops looking to bring this series back under control after that 7-0 game, and King Muff on the ball already, leaving it for Clamps, who knocks it into the corner. King Muff is up, and talk about an instant impact. He scores already.
And now you gotta wonder if the bishops were just trying to get dissolved a little bit of false confidence as King Muff comes out instantly and slaps one into the net. Just a great kickoff goal.
Yeah, in 14 seconds, that's all it took for him to make his mark on the series. And Dissolved, maybe a little bit shaken by that. I'm sure they weren't expecting such a quick turnaround from the Bishops, but this is their first lead in the series. Let's see how they hold on to it.
And with a lead, bishops do become a very much more scary team as they do have such good defense typically.
Yeah, I mean, we know how well they can score 1, 2 goals and hunker down, but AAA going for the double touch, but he leaves it instead, and Stack Jam ties it up 1-1.
And that's a great pass from AAA. Looks like he was going from the double, but it just turns into a great hit off the backboard. No one up from bishops to defend that, so Stack Jam's just going to slam that one in.
Yeah, and I have a feeling this game is going to get a little more interesting than that game 1 and 2. Dissolve now, possession off the kickoff. Whoa, Snake. Taking it the entire length of the field unchallenged. Stack Jam knocking it to the corner. Now Clamps down to chase. Hits it off the back wall. A good touch from AAA. Now King Muff knocking it midfield. A good touch from him over to Clamps. I think Bishops are really going to find their strong suit if they start looking for passes and team plays. Clamps off the backboard. King Muff there. Oh, it was a weak shot. And on the goal line, Snake is the man to save it.
The bishops really are looking so much more alive, though. Even though King Muff couldn't get a hard shot on net, that was such a great opportunity. And we're seeing more and more of these for the bishops now.
Yeah, they're already at 3 shots in the game. It's almost as much as they had all of game 2. So King Muff really providing that extra speed, confidence, and ball control that Bishops have been lacking. 4-4-4 pops it high for Snake. Maybe chases a little too long, and now Stack Jam's going to have to back off. He's got no one with him here. But he's going to leave it in the midfield, and AAA is quick to get to it. Back to Stack Jam. Shot just going wide. Now it's on the back wall here. Snake can't do too much with it. Almost own goaling, Frank did. But they'll get it away for now. Bishop's looking a little bit shaky here. Stack Jam knocking it middle. But Snake bumped away. He couldn't do much after that. Dissolve keep the pressure up. King Muff now. Knocking it long. It's a good clear. And Stack Jam's a little awkward, but he'll touch to his own corner. And I really think it would serve Bishops well to start going for a demo or two, because you can see Dissolved is really just out-rotating them. And I think if you get a demo to disrupt that rotation, you know, they'll have a little more space to work with. But a shot coming out from Stack Jam.
That's an unfortunate. I think King Muff pre-jumped this one here, expecting, or looks like just an accidental backflip possibly, but either way, a goal line misplay, and that will be the lead for Dissolved again.
Yeah, I mean, great shot from Stack Jam, but unfortunate positioning from King Muff. He's at the front post there, so Stack Jam puts it behind him, and there's nothing he can do to stop it. Now Dissolved looking to extend their lead here. King Muff on the goal line to clear it. Clamps now. Maybe a bit of a giveaway there as he opts to shoot rather than dribble. Snake chasing it. King Muff knocks it long. AAA now. A little bit of space, and I mean, we've talked a lot about how good Snake has been, but we really haven't mentioned AAA and Stack Jam that much. What do you think has been their key contribution to this game?
AAA and Stack Jam have just really been giving Snake a lot of good passes, opening up the field for him, but they've also been there to put away shots when they really need to. Snake centering the ball for, I think, a decent number of goals for both of the players as well. I think Stack Jam a little bit more than AAA.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing what they need to, which is just be consistent and be those support players. And Bishops are having trouble kind of containing them and blocking those passes, as we're seeing another pass cut out by Stack Jam. Snake with the shot, but it's a weak one. Now Frank, a bit of space. And again, when the Bishops players are getting that space, they're just knocking it long. You know, they're wasting these key opportunities, and when you're giving up so few of them like Dissolved has, He makes it hard, but Clamps makes this one count. A pass across comes in, and he puts it away.
And that's a great goal there from Clamps. Stack Jam just looking a little bit lost on the goal line. I think he was expecting that ball to bounce a little bit different. And that's what you want to see from the Bishops, taking advantage of little mistakes from Dissolved.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they got to do, and credit to them. They've done it well here. They tie it up, and now 30 seconds left. This is anyone's game, but Dissolved are going to keep it in the Bishop's half for now. Woe Snake gets a pop. A good save from King Muff. Triple A gets a shot, but Clamps blocks it. Little double commit there, but Woe Snake's going to stay on it. Frank a little awkward on the goal line, and Stack Jam puts it in for the late lead.
And that's just brutal. Dissolved immediately responds. That's a great pass from Snake. Frank wasn't expecting him to get past the second to last defender, and he's not able to half flip to save that one in time.
Yeah, and I mean, a couple times this series I've noticed those Bishops players have been pushing past that far post a little too often, and it's giving the Dissolved boys a little too much space at the far side, so they just put it behind them, and I mean, you're not in any position, and Stack Jam adding another one here, but I think it's too late now for Bishops to come back.
And that's gotta be the nail in the coffin. King Muff just gets a weak clear that acts more as a center to the other team, and you know he was looking for that boomer to try to make something miraculous happen, but that's what happens when you have to take that chance sometimes.
Yeah, and we're seeing AAA saying content and woohoo in the chat. Obviously, he's pretty excited about his performance. We know as Dissolve take that game 3. Again, it was a lot closer, but it was still relatively comfortable for Dissolved.
And it looked really good for the Bishops out the gate with the substitute with King Muff, but they lost their confidence with him fairly quickly, and the Dissolved, figured out how to work around the substitution, and they just kept putting that pressure. Stack Jam coming in with 4 goals. I believe he is the lowest rated player on the team, but he really showed up in this game.
Yeah, I mean, almost getting that 700 point mark. 4 goals, 4 shots. You can't ask for any better. But we're looking at a potential sweep here. Bishops, they need a win, or else they're going to go down and have to play Ascension in their next series.
And for the content, of course, you know we want that reverse sweep to happen. But right now, it's just not looking like Bishops have the resources to bring it back around.
Yeah,
We'll see.
it's going to be tough for them. I mean, you see a lot of people in chat not too happy with AAA's comments in the Twitch chat. We know there hasn't been too much toxicity in the Challenger League this season, but when there has been, it's usually involved Dissolved in some way. I mean, I know after they beat the Drakes, they were talking about how they're the new best team in Challenger, which is certainly interesting.
Yes, and I'm not sure I'd agree with the statement that there hasn't been that much toxicity in the Challenger League. But we'll see if they can put their money where their mouth is and finish out this series with a sweep.
Yeah, and that would definitely be a bit of a statement. Bishop's usually able to take at least a game or two off of their opponents this season. And to completely sweep them, I mean, that's got to tell Samurai and whoever makes it to the final from that other side of the bracket that they're definitely someone to be taken seriously. Game 4 here underway. Woe Snake on a solo play, he puts it on net, and a whiff comes out from the Bishop's defender. And it's probably as easy a goal as Woe Snake's ever going to get.
And just 2 defenders from the Bishops overcommit in the other half of the field, and King Muff has an opportunity to recover and save that one, but he's not able to find the touch. Maybe expecting a different shot thrown off by the double commit, but either way, that's unfortunate for them.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously a little bit of desperation coming out. A good shot by Frank, but it's saved away by Woe Snake, who's really been just everywhere on the field tonight. But Bishops have just been applying so much pressure. Dissolved have been applying so much pressure, and I feel like Bishops are just overwhelmed and they're scrambling. But a good shot from King Muff comes out. AAA backflipping by accident. And now Clamps with a shot off the post. Frank committing to that one, and he hits it off the post. And that attack coming to nothing. Dissolved walk away unscathed.
And you really can see the desperation that you were talking about from Bishops coming out here, as they're consistently sending their third man back to attack a ball, which is very dangerous if they're not able to get a touch, and they're almost paying for it here.
And it's been the story for them all series long. And Whoa Snake, a great shot, puts it in top right, and he's doubled their lead.
Once again, Dissolve's pressure just makes the Bishops defense completely fall apart. Two players sitting on the goal line. Looks like Frank was practically leaving the net, and that shot is just going to be too fast for either one of them to save.
And it's slowly but surely Dissolved is adding to their lead. An okay shot comes out from King Muff, but not really ever going to trouble the Dissolved defense. Frank now trying to make his impact on this series. AAA now popping it high, and it's 50 away. King Muff now with a chance, but again, Dissolved just applying so much pressure. No space for the Bishops to work with. Stack Jam hitting it into the middle. Clamps there to save it. And it's an open net. Bit of miscommunication and a whiff coming out from Bishops. And again, AAA, another very easy goal for them.
The Bishops just completely falling apart as Clamps manages to 1v2 his teammates on the own goal. And that was even worse than the first two own goals. That one almost looked intentional.
Yeah, and there's obviously got to be some tilt coming out. I mean, Bishops, though they've had some good moments, but they've really just been outplayed in every single way. And there's not too much that they seem they can do, you know, with this roster to interrupt the momentum that Dissolved has built up for themselves.
There's a good counterattack chance, but it goes off the post again.
And off the crossbar as well. And, you know, Bishops, just the post and the crossbar, I think, you know, they have them magnetized because every shot that they've put on has either hit the post or the crossbar. Dissolve not even having to make the saves most of the time. Whoa Snake putting another one on net. Stack Jam now having to leave it. And AAA pushing up too high, and Clamps will put one away for Bishops.
And that's a start that Bishops need if they want to try to get this comeback. It looks like Whoa Snake was maybe expecting the other player to make a touch, but instead he just flies past the ball. So that's a good start for the Bishops in this comeback.
And it's exactly what they need. You know, we have 2 minutes left here, still plenty of time for them, but they're going to want to move quickly, and they can't afford to let in any more goals. And now, AAA, probably just hoping to kill some time off the clock now. Whoa Snake knocks it into the midfield, and Frank pops it high. It's on the backboard, and AAA not making the touch. He may have been on low boost, but Frank will take that one.
And Frank here just passing almost to the ceiling for himself. That was a great center ball. I was going to say that you want to see a second or third man going up for that one, but Frank just does it all himself. I'm not sure how the Dissolved roster allowed that to happen.
And everyone in the chat, if you believe that Bishops can at least hold on for one more game, let us know. As they're only one goal away here from tying it. And a couple misplays coming up from AAA. And just miscommunication in defense, but they're going to allow Bishops to crawl back into this game. It's stuck in the Dissolved end now. AAA flicks it high. Clamps keeping it back in. They want to get shots on net now. That one off the post. Whoa Snake, last man back, gets the clear. Now Frank's going to have to leave it, but a good demo from Whoa Snake, and it's an insurance goal for them.
And once again, Dissolve turned another situation where they were under heavy pressure, and Bishops just overcommit. They can't be bringing their third man up that far and expecting Dissolve not to capitalize on it. That's just another easy counter for Dissolve.
Yeah, and you know, Bishops, they needed to really pressure as much as they could there, but at the same time, you know, there's still a minute left. It doesn't have to be all in, but the pass goal not mattering as King Muff brings it back 4-3.
And that's a great response from the Bishops, showing that they aren't going to give up no matter what happens in this game. Just a high center ball, and Snake can't read that one. Good finish by King Muff there.
And we are not over. We thought they might be with Wozniak's adding the fourth goal here, but now Bishop's looking to bring it back. Frank knocking it off the sidewall. AAA with the clear. And Clamps knocking it off his own crossbar, and Stack Jam will put it in again.
And you just have to wonder what's going on with Clamps today. This is the fourth or fifth time that he's completely just fallen apart on defense. And this time he doesn't put it into his own net, but he does give such an easy shot to the defenders. You have to wonder what's going on with him right now.
Yeah, it's been an unfortunate series, I think, for a few of the Bishops players. I mean, just a couple mistakes, but we've seen them play at their peak, and we know that it's obviously just got to be an off day for them. Some missed clears, it's really unfortunate, but it looks like Dissolved are going to take this as we're approaching the final 5 seconds, and Stack Jam might get one more. He can't, but that'll do it. Dissolved will sweep Bishops 4-0. They'll go on to play Samurai, and Bishops will go down and play Ascension.
And the Bishops really just have to thank their stars here that they're not completely out of the playoffs. After a showing like that, you have to wonder what they're going to do to try and fix some of these errors.
Yeah, and I mean, as the series is over, it was a pretty dominant one from Dissolved. We saw them make a bit of a late comeback, but it looks like we're gonna get an interview in here. So we're gonna have one of the Dissolved players join us in a moment. But who would you give the player of the series here for Dissolved?
I think in the end, I really have to give it to Wosnake. He was the person that we were expecting to show up, and he really did come out. I think he scored over 10 goals, if I'm not mistaken, in this series, and he created so much offensive pressure. I mean, the entire team played so well, but I think he was the one who really went above and beyond even past that.
Yeah, and looks like we have one of the Dissolved players here. We have Wosnake on the line. Wosnake, how are you doing?
No, it's Triple A.
Oh, is it AAA? Oh,
Yeah,
AAA. How's it going?
it's going good.
Um, how did you feel about that series? Obviously, it was a pretty dominant one.
Honestly, whenever we went against them early in the season, we lost, and we were kind of surprised. Like we weren't like we thought we were gonna win, but this winning it just gave us a whole big boost of hope. Honestly, because not gonna lie, we were kind of scared of them, but we pulled through and played smart, and we made the best of it.
And what was the game plan going into this series? Was
The
there
game
anything
plan,
specifically?
just don't play stupid. Just want to play smart and capitalize on the mistakes because we knew they were gonna do quite a bit of mistakes. And remember last time we played them, we knew they had a bit of mistakes. So our plan was just to just capitalize a bit whenever they mistakes.
And obviously, Wosnake, he's a high GC player.
Oh yeah.
How does it help you guys to have such a talented player on your roster?
Honestly, us having him on the team is just like a sense of relief. Like if we mess up, most times we can count on him.
And Merely, do you have any questions for AAA here?
Yeah, I kind of just want to know. It was such a dominating performance. It looked like you guys were really confident all the way through. But when King Muff got subbed in, did you guys get scared at all when he scored within I think 15 seconds, or what changed?
We didn't really get scared. We like knew what we messed up on, and we just put it behind us. We just didn't think of it.
All right, and one last question before we let you go. Your next game is going to be in the semifinals against Samurai. How are you feeling about that matchup?
Lancer, you being on Samurai, not gonna lie, we did go against you guys in the season and we win. So we're gonna hope that it happens again, and that's kind of it.
All right, well, you heard it here. Dissolved planning to make a run in to the finals where they'll play likely Drakes, but you never know. Ascension's in there. Bishops could come from the other bracket, but thank you, AAA, for joining us here.
Thank you.
All right. Well, Merely, that's the end of the series. Do you have any final thoughts before we end this one?
A bit disappointing to have another sweep on our hands, but you do love to see the absolute dominance from Dissolved. It really is something else to just watch a team play that well and absolutely annihilate.
And the Bishops, they're going to be going to the lower bracket to play Ascension. Obviously, that's your team. So you think you can give an unbiased take on how you think that one's going to go?
I think that will be an interesting matchup. Obviously, for anyone who doesn't know, the last time the Bishops and my team Ascension played, we played on stream back to back, and we lost both in very close fashion, especially the second series. So we will be looking for a little bit of revenge, but also I know the Bishops know that they have beaten us twice, so they probably can do it again. It's going to be a very close one, I think.
Yeah, and that one's going to be, I believe it'll be streamed on Saturday night. Should be an exciting one. And then we see Dissolved again. They'll play Samurai on Monday, which should be another good one. But that's going to do it here for Merely and I. On behalf of the Nemesis team, I just want to say thanks for joining us. But the stream isn't over yet. I believe we have a Titan matchup coming up after this. They'll be starting at 11. But on behalf of everyone at Nemesis and Merely and myself, thank you, and stick around for that next matchup because it's going to be a good one. And we'll see you later.